Have you ever noticed that the weather patterns around the world have become more extreme, or that the once in every 500-year flood have become more frequent? Hello, my name is Ashlyn Hallstein, and I will be talking to you about global warming and its effects on our world. I have grown up on a farm, and I have watched my dad, who used to be able to get into the field on time, now struggle due to incredibly wetter spring and fall seasons. For the next several minutes, I'll be talking to you about global warming and its effects on the weather around the world and the creatures living within it. According to NRDC, global warming is a gradual increase in temperature in our atmosphere. This increase in temperature is due to large amounts of greenhouse gases being emitted into our atmosphere. The sun's heat and radiation that once bounced off the Earth and back into space are now being absorbed by these gases. As a result, our polar ice caps and glaciers are melting away. In this, I have two images, one from 1940 and the other from 2006. You can see how much this glacier has melted away in only a matter of 66 years. This melted ice then flows into our oceans, causing water levels to increase immensely. Between 1993 and 2014, the National Ocean Services states that the ocean levels rose 2.6 inches from their average and continue to increase, threatening the coastal cities and islands. Global warming also affects our weather patterns. NASA and the Union of Concerned Scientists explain that there are rising temperatures which cause the weather cycle to be increased. This leads to heightened evaporation. The atmosphere's ability to hold this evaporated water is increased by 4% for every 1 degree rise in temperature. This increase in evaporation and the atmosphere's ability to hold this evaporated water leads to longer periods of time where this moisture must fall back down in what is known as torrential rainfall or heavy snowfall. An increase in moisture is not the only thing that can come from heightened evaporation. The places that this moisture was being taken from are beginning to see signs of drought. Zeke Hosfather from Carbon Brief states that within the century we will begin to see climates changing between directly wet and dry. This map shows places around the world that would become wetter or drier within this century. The purple represents getting wetter, and the orange represents places getting drier. And all of the black dots represent what 90% of all models show. If the more greenhouse gases we release, the faster these changes will happen. Although global warming is affecting the weather around us, it is affecting many other things as well, including animals, such as the polar bear all the way down to the coral reefs. The polar bear populations are decreasing due to the inability to hunt for seals on this melting ice. They're unable to get to certain areas on this ice that were once connected. A couple of other animals being affected by global warming are the Asian elephant and the giant panda, but in slightly different ways. Marie Florence from GVI Science states that the bamboo, the food source of the giant panda, is dying off due to higher temperatures, whereas the main food source of the Asian elephant is being cut out and choked out by invasive warm-growing species. The bumblebee, an insect being affected by global warming, is dying off due to global warming. Rachel Baxter from IFL Science states that a study showed that the snow was melting earlier, giving bees a longer pollinating season. The amount of flowers, though, growing this longer period was quite low, leaving many bees hungry. Global warming doesn't only affect animals on land, it also affects animals within the water, including the coral reefs. According to Earth Day Network, 72% of the coral reefs protected by UNESCO saw signs of severe heat stress just last year. In conclusion, we are all being affected by global warming, and everything around us is too. In my speech, I have talked about what global warming is and its causes, its effect on weather, and its effect on the animals living on land and in the water. Whether we want to believe it or not, global warming is a serious situation that needs our attention. If you remember, I told you about the effects of global warming on the polar bear. I would like to leave you with a lasting image of what could happen if we don't pay attention to the changes in our environment. This is a strong, healthy polar bear. And this is a polar bear suffering from the effects of global warming. If we don't do something to slow down this process of global warming, we will face a future with many disturbing changes. Thank you for listening.